let's jump into it, guys, because it's a QA sesh. Next slide. Welcome to Seme Easy. We kind of just did all that bullshit
Jake Blank,
right there.
Andrew Dale, we've got Ben, we've got Nick in the house, we've got, in the house, listen to me, I'm like, it's like fucking House of Bugging or something, you know?
In the house.
I can tell you that over the last, I mean, just to bring everybody up to speed, Jake and I have been freaking nonstop. I finally got some sleep last night. I'm an old guy, right? So I kind of need my sleep.
Yeah, I got like 3 hours sleep last night, so that was a good night for me.
And you know, and it's funny because we always preach that, like, you know, you should try and automate as much stuff as you can. And then this is that time period we're in the process of trying to automate as much as we can, so we're just freaking dying right now. But it's all good.
Yeah,
all
exactly.
Good.
Well, I mean, our task of automation is turning everything that we're doing into code, so we don't have to do it manually. But just that you can't automate the task of automating the task. I wish you could. We should do a WSO.
Yeah, yeah.
Automation for life. All right.
So one of the first things, I mean, you guys know that, like, we kind of have a loose structure on the question and answers, right? So one of the big things, obviously, it's been out there for about a month, and you have, you know, as soon as Google starts hitting the PBNs and stuff,
yeah.
Within the first 24 hours, there's already people that are putting out products going, hey, we have the solution to your PBN problem. We have the solution to this. Let's go to the next slide real fast.
Gurus. I'm gonna break it down like this. You know, we're under contractual obligations of what we're allowed to say about a specific person or people, and we're not going to touch on that at all. We're going to be talking about how we have responded to the whole PBN issue, and what we did was a little bit different than what everybody else did. They went out and they started doing tons of testing and then theorizing and trying to come up with the best theories and then put those theories into practice and reverse engineer it by almost hacking the system in the traditional SEO black hat sense. And because of our legal obligations, we weren't able to share our findings and stuff like that because they were all theory. You know, we can't. But we figured out our own little loophole, and you know, so the real question at play, and everybody is putting out their theories, is how is Google whacking your PBNs? What's the metrics that are being looked at? What's the process flow behind?
We've also made a promise to everybody that we're going to try. I mean, we don't mind putting out theory if we tell everybody it's theory.
Yeah.
But we're not going to put something out absolute unless we, as you guys know, unless we've checked it, verified it, and tested everything 1,000%. So, you know, when Google is whacking the PBNs, we always, you know, when Google does anything, we usually like to take a step back and try and Jake, at least his freaking mind, right? It's like a human calculator. Mine is a little bit more, you know, theory and experience, and together we kind of try and figure out what's going on, and I think we nailed it this time.
Yeah, so, I mean, take a look at all the responses over the last month, all the discussions that have been going on about what's happening, and you'll see tons and tons of theories and tons of
WSOs and solutions, and we've got you figured out, and nobody explains anything.
Yep, these magic blue boxes will fix all your problems. Yeah, no, we did a little bit what I like to call better. Okay, so if any of you have Google in front of you, which all of you probably should, unless you're paying attention to the webinar, which in that case, don't break away from it because we're going to get to it on our screen share. Google Patent US 2012 0246134A1. It's called the detection and analysis of backlink activities. And that's pretty self-evident in the title itself. If you've never seen a patent before, you might be thinking, oh, well, this is Google. They're going to tell me everything that I need to know about how they detect and analyze backlink activities. Yes, the answer is they will, but it is very, very, very convoluted. U.S. patent registrations are extremely. Why don't you pull it up real fast, and you can actually just show everybody how. Yeah, well.
No, pull it up here and then just drag it over.
That's actually a much better idea. I'll just leave that there for now and be really unprofessional. All right. Thank you for doing that Basecamp. It loaded it up in its own little view. Let's see if I can just drag. Nope. I don't want help. I just want to minimize here. Yeah. We will do that. Oh, that just made a thumbnail. My bad, guys. I'm being super bad here. But that's okay. Alright. And this should work. Alright. We got it. Let's view the PDF here. We'll download the original.
I like that. Steve writes, you guys know more by accident than the rest of us know on purpose. Steve, it's not true. I mean, listen, we like to pride ourselves on, we take pretty good hardcore mental notes on everything and then take some hardcore notes as needed. You know, and then we try and dig in. And the reason why we're kind of doing this right now, and I'm going to kind of break away slightly from what Jake's about to jump into. We're going to be doing a lot in reference to Google patents over the next couple of months. Patents are really, as Jake said, really difficult to read, really difficult to understand. You have a lot of these gurus out there that, first of all, don't even realize that these Google patents exist. Never mind have actually pulled them up, read them. And even if they pulled them up and read them, you're going to see in about 2 seconds how crazy and convoluted they actually are. So you can read it and freaking not even understand what the hell it's saying at all. We actually have, behind us, we have about 7 mirrors that we have these really cool markers that we can mark up these entire mirrors behind us as we go through each one of these and kind of make sense of what they're actually talking about, because without doing that, it's really, really, really tough.
Yeah. But the images seem pretty self-explanatory. You know, but when you really break it down past just the simple images, this one's a little bit more confusing, and go into what they're talking about, it gets really, 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 really difficult to understand. That's it. The computing system 202 may be used to monitor the changes in backlinks over a predetermined period of time, from time 0 to time n, and process the changes using an algorithm such as backlink changes detection algorithm that generates data related to the changes, blah, blah, blah. It sounds like you're reading a textbook, but as you get even more into it, you start getting into some really, really crazy techie stuff, and it just becomes impossible unless you know the terminology and the phrases.
Yeah, like for instance here, just stop for 1 second. Just pull up 1 second. As it starts to describe, it says something like
people who are trained in the arts. Let me find arts here. Highlighting. Of course, it's not going to find it. It's not highlighting on my side. Whatever. Okay. Those skilled in the art will recognize that such recitation should be interpreted to mean at least the recited number. For example, the bare recitation of 2 recitations without other modifiers means at least 2 recitations or 2 more recitations. So
this is how we got Jake to go to sleep finally. We actually got him to read this, and he dozed off because...
Well, I did not doze off until I did this. So I kind of went through and broke the entire thing down, and those of you who might be recording this, and you'll be able to see it right away, and when we put this up, you guys will be able to pause through it. But I went through every single section and pretty much isolated the important parts and then put in all my comments and my analysis in a very easy to read format.
So we're gonna break through this real fast right now for some of you guys, but just so you know, this is sort of a teaser for what's gonna be coming. Yep. We had a lot of people that said, hey, listen, I joined SemEasy because I was looking for like the really high quality, really in-depth, ninja crap that I thought, we were gonna do. And it's hard because we try and balance it between some people that are brand spanking new, and then we try and balance it between those people that are hardcore SEOs. And we figured that basically doing it this way, we can actually hit everybody all together, all in one foul swoop.
Yep. So I went in through the PDF, and there's a lot more information in it that I didn't really have time to go and pull all this out. pull all the little pieces out, but I pulled out the important bits, and then I went down into the really, really small stuff, the convoluted stuff, and I pulled out from there as well what, was important, and then put my analysis on it. So let's just start with identifying the problem. So I'll just read this out real quick. Websites often employ various techniques called search engine optimization, usually shortened to SEO, to increase the number of backlinks pointing to their website. Some methods are free for use by everyone, whereas some methods, like link baiting, require quite a bit of planning and marketing to work. Some websites stumble upon link baiting naturally. The sites that are, so link baiting here is like, yo, you post your link on my site, I'll post my link on your site, we're all in this one big forum.
And link baiting is also, creating that link, like back in the day, just to give you, right, what I told you, like there were really no search engines that existed back in the day. So what you would do is you'd find a domain like I was in one particular niche, and they had like the world's greatest domain name ever. Like it was like an exact match domain, because if you didn't know what the domain name was, even the directories were few at the time. It was like oh God, I'm really gonna date myself here, but it was like CNET, Prodigy. It was like Northern Lights, Excite. There was a couple of them, and those were like actually later on in the game. But if you didn't have the exact domain, which was like, let's say if it was law enforcement, it was like police.com, right?
Yep.
And people would try that. Your link baiting was getting a link on that site that you knew that people would then click on in order to get traffic, because people weren't going to find you unless somebody actually clicked through a link in order to find you.
Yep.
And if you really think about it, like nothing's really changed, but except our mindset has, because we figured
now we're all searching stuff and not clicking through things to click through things. Sidetrack here, but not really sidetracking. I'm going to give you the really short and thick of it before we break into it. I think that's going to be better. So Google's realized when people do a search on Google that if they just click a link, there's no way for them to really analyze whether or not that was the link that they wanted to see and whether that link was truly relevant to the content. Sure, they have their content analysis and they do their best to figure out what's on the page and what's relevant to the search query being performed, and that's what we do for our on-page SEO. But they're also very interested in seeing what people's traffic flow is in order to figure out what the best information is. So what did they do in the beginning was they thought, all right, let's see where everybody's linking to, and then we'll use that, and the more links that are pointing to your site, obviously the more people know about your site and like your site, so we're going to...
Google was the first one to do that.
Exactly.
And links was a vote.
It was a very, very novel idea. A link is a vote. The more votes you have, the better, your site is.
Right.
But there was no to say the least. And Google recognized this. So they say, in addition to link baiting, the internet search industry has in recent years seen rapid growth in so-called black hat SEO techniques.
Which is amazing that they named black hat right in the patent.
Yep. Such as paid backlinks and low-value backlink farms constructed primarily for the purpose of attempting to trick or game the major search engines by fabricating backlinks with little or no underlying substantive value other than merely pointing to destination content or websites with the main objective of influencing SEO web results. Such black hat techniques are largely scorned by the major search engines, as we well know, and indeed, when detected, such destination sites are commonly penalized by these search engines.
Right.
So Google now recognizes the need to fight black hat link building and baiting and black hat SEO, but does not want to interfere with natural link baiting. That's their problem. Social media events, news stories, popular brand product releases. These are all things that should be presented to the user in the search result, because if they're not, people are going to stop using that search engine because it's no longer giving them the information they want.
Hence their ad revenue goes down, and it's just shareholders start screaming.
Yep. So they give what I call the foundation of the solution, and I pulled this straight out, this paragraph, but it's a few pages in. It's technologies described here in the patent generally include methods of analyzing backlinks. An example of such a method may include monitoring a plurality of backlinks over a predetermined period of time the backlinks associated with at least one entity of interest, one website URL, analyzing the plurality of backlinks to determine changes in the plurality of backlinks, and comparing the changes to the polarity of black backlinks, I'm confusing black hat and backlinks, over the predetermined period of time to evaluate the authenticity of the backlinks. And this is just one part of the solution.
And this is their technical verbiage, so we're going to break that down too to understand.
And this was the basic foundation of their first figure, was comparing backlink history over time. So Google introduces a novel solution, and this is the foundation of their patent. We should monitor the backlinks over a period of time. So now we have a database of backlinks, and some of you might not have even known that they were monitoring this over a period of time and analyzing it over time, and record a wide variety of metrics associated with said backlinks, such as content analysis of the pages themselves, the visitor funnel that if you're
people finding them in Google, how are they getting to those sites?
Exactly. What was the method of the user getting to them? And not only this, but if you're signed in Chrome,
not even signed in
Chrome.
If you're signed in, they know everything.
If you're signed in, they know everything, and it's attached to you. We all know that. But if this site has AdWords on it, and there's a whole other patent about that, and I'll break into that, but when you put that JavaScript for AdWords on it, you are essentially allowing Google to see every single thing that's happening on your site.
Every part of the funnel.
Every part of the funnel. How not only what the user is seeing on the site, but the not only the search term that the user performed beforehand, but the website and browser history that the user was at beforehand. If they're on a social media network site and got linked to maybe
which also goes into the cost per click of that backlink.
Oh yeah.
Which is very determined. They basically determine, is this a quality user, non-quality user,
absolutely.
The whole shebang. So
anyway, so based off the metrics gathered, they group and rank the backlinks.
And they're looking at tier 2 backlinks as well, which is gigantic.
Yeah, I'll break into that a little bit.
And tier 3 and tier 4.
Yep. Which is why I put ... there too. So Google lays out an analysis engine for backlinks over time, which results in a direct modification of SERP results for competing sites in Figure 2, and you guys can go and look at that later. Starting with an indefinite data collection on all backlinks pointed to said sites, and then analysis of the stored data on a per-site basis.
Okay, I'm going to just break in real fast. So a lot of people a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago, I lose track of the days really fast now, but everybody was going, oh, Google employed this 30-day sandbox to backlinks. Well, this is exactly what it is, okay, guys? This is where they pulled it from. And what you usually find is when Google grabs a patent and puts it in, it usually takes them quite some time to be able to start rolling it out the way that they want to within their algorithm. So this patent is 2 years old that they've put in there. And they'll usually take it and start it, but they'll actually increase the weight of that variable as time goes on. So what people were starting to see was that they go, well, I put up a PBN, and it took a while for any sort of juice to come through at all to my site. Well, that's because Google looked at that site just as Jake was talking about. They looked at that site. They said, well, there's really no activity going on here at all. It's a high-quality backlink just by page rank alone because of the amount of backlinks. But there's actually no activity going on here at all. So you know what?
Has anybody actually clicked through the target site?
But yet other people turned around and they were asking the questions, well, how come then I guess backlinks on CNN or backlinks on USA Today or backlinks on these other sites, I guess they're going to have the same effect. Well, this patent clearly shows you no. They've been through that trust factor. Some of these sites have already, they've built that trust where they've seen the user flow go through it. Like the site is almost taken out of that mix.
Take a step back from that, but the simple fact that they have a user flow going through it, and
that's what
you have a PBN, it's private. Nobody's going to be clicking on.
And chances are, most of your PBNs, like I know most of my PBNs don't rank by themselves. They normally just don't. They're just high authority. I never even checked what my SERP. What my SERP position is on any of those at all, because I never really tried to target any of my PBNs to rank for anything.
Yep.
So this was a huge eye opener to me. And you know what? I obviously see that these guys are getting something out of it, because like normally the questions start exploding. And like right now, it's like you could hear a pencil drop in the, like nobody has mentioned anything. So either we disconnected or like people are just absorbing this right now.
Yeah, so
are you guys absorbing this?
Yeah,
or?
If you're still here,
because
I know there's a ton of people here. Yes. Okay.
All right, good.
All right.
Okay.
Alrighty. Okay, I'll keep going through here. So
we just wanted to make sure that like we didn't like lose everybody. That's all. You know, because I see that everybody's hanging on here. It's really, really cool stuff. And once again, this is like a teaser for what's coming.
Yep. And this is just a basic analysis, not even going full in depth with it all. But so such data that they're gathering, and this is just for example, they get more, include detailed backlink analyses, keyword statistics, traffic statistics, keyword or website trends, keyword or web page ranks, etc. The backlink analysis may include information such as the date and time of visits, etc. This data is then selectively fed into a backlink recommendation engine, which may be configured to determine behaviors that impact SEO effectiveness and or relative SEO performance of one or more target marketing enterprises.
Ouch, that hurts, guys. I mean, once again.
And this is all the first figure. This is from figure 1.
And that hurts if you didn't understand what the hell is going on, because, right, it seems like all these gurus are shooting in the dark going, no, you know what, we just, if we're not de-indexed, we're good. Yep. If we're not de-indexed, we're good.
Yeah, no, figure 2, I should say. I'm sorry. But, all right, so now we have an abstraction of figure 2, and I'll explain that. So the methods outlined in figure 1 are not capable of providing a simultaneous backlink analysis within the same thread. So the system, a system had to be created to handle multiple and group backlink analysis on a large scale, and that system was visualized and originally theorized and explained in figure 2. But a problem existed with figure 2 is the flow of data through figure 2 is extremely linear in fashion or in nature. However, as such, not as such, it should just be as such, the inclusion of additional methods within the flow is severely limited. It's a flow diagram of how the data is being processed, and it's all predetermined with the logic.
And this is why PBNs were working so well back in the day.
Yeah, exactly.
Just crappy PBNs.
But Google had to make this first, even though they theorized it, they put it in the patent, they still had to put it into practice and application. Absolutely. And we
so
pretty much
this is the reason why we're starting to see why things are changing here.
Exactly, and Skyfall kind of came out of...
Skyfall, I love that. Somebody just coined that shit.
Whatever, I love it. I think it's great.
Called it after...
I like that it's called Skyfall
James
because...
Bond movie.
Well, no, I see it more of it's been up there in the sky forever, and we've just been waiting for it to fucking fall, and it finally did. So anyway, to provide a more flexible model for backlink analysis, both over time and in real time, Google needed to abstract the functionality of Figure 2 into independent modules capable of talking to one another, pushing and pulling data through the network.
Oh, modular algorithms.
Modular algorithms, yep.
Oh.
So Google has formulated modules for the identification, organization, grouping, ranking, authentication, and analysis of standard non-flag backlinks. So ones that haven't already been identified as black hat. But additionally, there could be in place a filter module which flags, boosts, and or removes backlinks based off certain criteria and or metrics returned from the other modules. Google also describes a module capable of recognizing patterns, possibly footprints, within the backlinks themselves and taking action based off the metrics and analysis of this module. Perhaps most relevant to our endeavors, however, but hopefully not if you're setting everything up properly. And when I was in SemChat earlier in the week, I talked about a multi-tiered PBN flowed network utilizing social networking, and that's really what you should be doing now, and we'll break into that too later, probably not in this webinar. But anyway, Google developed a module specifically for the identification of black hat backlinks, as well as one dedicated to evaluating the flagged backlinks and groups of backlinks to determine their black hattedness. As Google describes, all modules share data with each other through the network and network storage, And this could be seen if you have it pulled up in figures 0, 1, 3, 4, and 5. Now, it's worth noting that the term module here can refer to software objects or routines that execute on the computing system and are hardware designed specifically for the task at hand. ASIC chips, so that's a circuit, they're pretty much integrated circuits designed for one specific task. So instead of writing a bunch of software, you actually have hardware performing the logic flows. Enterprise servers that have the software algorithms programmed into it, etc., etc. And in this section here, I pretty much pulled out all the little important bits, and this is direct copy from the not the algorithm, from the patent. I'm not going to read that here. You could just...
Is this going to be the first post that we actually make within our live? I mean, normally everything that we post on our site outside of the forum,
static.
It's video. So
I mean,
maybe this will be the first actual post.
I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that a good idea? Should we do a text post? It seems to be like popular.
Yeah,
everybody does text
Everybody
posts.
does text posts, you know.
Yeah.
How come this one keeps staying on the bottom?
I don't know. Yeah, Steve, I'm gonna delete yours because GoToWebinar is being weird. We're not mad at you. We love you, Steve, but let's get rid of that. Oh, it's sorting by question. It should sort by receipt.
Oh,
That's
better.
There we go.
Okay, that makes more sense.
There we go. Are we recording this? Yes, we better be recording this.
And Nick is saying in English,
por favor.
hey, Nick, we basically what we're trying to do is we try and break down of exactly what Google's saying within the patent. This is just better now, right? Because we can actually
see them as they come in on time.
So, you know, hopefully what you're seeing is that, yeah, we get into the technical crap and then we try and break it down. If we're not breaking it down enough that, like, you guys are grasping it, just give us the feedback, let us know, and we'll try and break it down even more.
Yep. So the scope of the solution, which is a section I pulled out, I wanted to give it its own section. So if you jump down to paragraph 65, Google clarifies that the system described within the patent, systems described within the patent, I should say, are not limited to functioning within their cloud. In fact, the patent applies to the flow analysis and logic processing of data through the individual modules themselves. And since these modules are nothing more than descriptions of functions, they can be applied to any computing system. An example of this application of theory can be found in paragraph 67. So they're showing figure 6, which looks reading patents is a strange hobby, but reading patents is what actually generates, you know, practical.
Let me just tell you, you know, you walk into a client, okay, and Jake and I have had the opportunity to walk into some like heavy-hitting clients. Like one of the guys that I work with on a project, he was the co-founder of Expedia. And when I turn around and he goes, well, Matt Cutts said this, and I go, well, that's great, but you know what? Their patent, which is their engineers, their lawyers, and everything else, are saying this. We need to go with this. It demands authority when you walk into the room and you can start pulling things out and say, I believe it was in this patent here, in this section.
Matt Cutts is the Mickey Mouse of Google's SPAN department. Sure, he's the head of it, but,
but Britney Spears was on the Mickey Mouse Club, so.
But, you know, he's got to go and make all the little children happy. And who are his children, really? His children are... Big Happy saying he'll go back to generic insults.
No,
you didn't insult me. No, but like, you know, Mickey Mouse has got to make all the children happy, and who are Google's children? It's the people who are paying them, and it's
right. It's the people that are paying tons for ads, and believe it or not.
And how do you keep them happy? Is by keeping their Google's end users happy, so they can continue gathering all the metrics.
Okay, let's face it. Any organization that you pay, any organization that you do business with, you need to feel as though there's somebody speaking to you, right? Which is what Matt does. And Matt is always self-serving. And you know what? I'm sure Matt is sitting in here right now. No, I'm kidding.
No, he's probably not.
What's it called? You know, what Google, the information that they put out there, they put out tons of misinformation. I could take tons of Matt's videos, look right in the patents and say, how can you even say that based on your own patent?
Well, I mean, the foundation for index assault was freaking, you know, based in patent.
It was all based from patent.
So anyway, let's go through here. So this is pretty interesting because it starts breaking into some other patents, but I just pulled out the important part. So figure 6 shows an example of computing devices, of a computing device, or shows an example computing device, title, number 600, that is arranged to perform any of the computing methods described within. So any of the different modules can be analyzed by something set up such as a device described in Figure 600. The computing system 600 can represent a user-side computing device such as a mobile smartphone, as well as an application marketplace search facilitating server, so an enterprise server, and arranged in accordance with at least some embodiments described herein. So even if it doesn't like fully match what's in Figure 6, as long as it has some of the components in there, Google could use that device to perform their backlink analysis.
Absolutely.
So they could be using the Chrome browser. They can be using the Android operating system.
Yes, I mean, listen. Even though people said, even though we've always said, and we don't do it, right? Like I never put Webmaster Tools on any of my PBNs. I never put analytics on any of my PBNs. It doesn't. I mean, to be honest with you, I think it's still a good practice, but it really doesn't fucking matter.
It's getting to the point where it doesn't matter. I wouldn't do it on an organic traffic funnel because then Google is now analyzing each individual page. I mean, they still are, but they're now seeing that you want to have those metrics. Because what they think is when you're signing up for Webmaster's Tools and you're getting all this stuff, what's their real objective is to push you into AdWords.
Right.
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
So the more they could fucking nail down and knock down your page.
2007, I taught the first class of SEO that I think probably was taught anywhere within the U.S. Maybe I'm wrong about that because there's no way I can look it up.
2007.
2007 was pretty early though, right? We're talking 7 years ago.
That's true.
And I wrote the first syllabus for the SUNY schools. And the first thing that I said was always, what is Google, right? And you wait for everybody's responses. And the actual answer, which nobody ever seems to get, but you guys always get it every time I ask, because I probably say the same fucking story over 10,000 times like my wife complains about, is that Google is the world's largest advertising company. Right, there you go, all the marbles, you got it. The world's largest advertising company. So everything that they do, just like a good internet marketer or anything else, funnels you right back to where they're going to make their money, right? So people put out free content. Oh, this is great, and it funnels you right back like webinars, right? We're gonna show you guys how to do this for free. Oh, but I also have a solution. It's all the funnel back to what's making them money, and that's exactly it.
Yep. Well, it's not even disguised as a search engine because they were smart enough to realize that the search engine is a key module, and it's not only the conduit for their revenue stream.
That was the method to get to those ads.
Yeah.
That was,
yes.
The driving device.
Yep. So I guess you're right in that the ad display is disguised as a search engine, and they have since abstracted their portfolio of intellectual property and application and revenue streams through the AdWords and displaying ads on people's sites themselves and being their own ad server. But now I think the majority of ads are not actually clicked in the search results themselves.
No, they're being clicked on
websites. And so what they did is they took that search, and they tweaked it.
And we had this discussion. Actually just a little earlier, right, where we were talking about as we were looking through some of these patents, and we're going, wow, AdSense is using the same modules that are being used by analytics and Webmaster Tools and everything else, but we're not seeing the websites that had AdSense getting whacked. Yeah. And Jake and I are talking about this, and my theory originally was that, just because of what I'd seen within Google's organization itself, the people, AdSense just doesn't talk to the rest of the company, right? They just don't do it. And I have lots of examples that, they showed one of my examples to everybody, and then a month later, everybody's site that they changed to that was getting penalized. So AdSense, the team doesn't speak, but at the end of the day, guys, it's about money, right? So Jake and I, we actually kind of laughed, and at the same time, we both looked at it and said, well, why aren't those sites getting whacked? And we both looked at each other. Once again, this is theory, right? We can't actually nail this. We go, money. That's the reason why they're not getting whacked. They're making money on this. So if the site was really thin and it wasn't getting visitors, they whack it because it's taking off their bottom end and actually just taking up resources of them having to read through a page every time it got hit. But if it's making money for them, we're not seeing any of those sites getting whacked, which is, once again, part of the same algorithm. It's actually seeing real users on the site interacting, and Google's like, all right, you know what? It might be slightly spamish, but hey, the users are interacting with
this site. Yep. And if you have AdWords installed on your site, there's a patent I've been tearing through for the past 2 weeks that you'd be very, very interested in.
Yeah, and we will definitely go over that. Now, I just want to grab this real fast that Nate was asking a couple of questions. He's like, you know, how to rank a Facebook profile, how to rank a Web 2.0, you know, how to post a blog comment. I'm not 100% sure of fuck, you're fucking with me. Is this fucking Nate?
Yeah, this is Nate. Yeah.
You bastard. I love you, but I'll tell you what, man, you fucking had me because I'm sitting here scratching my head going, holy shit. Oh, you're too funny.
How to rank Web 12.0.
Yeah, if you guys don't know, Nate is like a little, I mean, Nate is more than a little ninja. Nate's a fucking major ninja. And I'm sitting here going, nah, this can't be Nate.
These are just the
fuck.
Andrew, how to blog comment post.
Oh my god, dude, he fucking hook, line, and sinker.
Yep.
Andrew, you sounded like John Belushi.
Holy shit! As the horse is upside down with the fucking horse. I think he had a heart attack. Holy shit!
Andrew, not Andrew. All the marbles posted sent here. So, following thought: should you install AdWords on our Circle Landlord site? If that's the method you want to take with it, then absolutely you can.
No, well, not AdWords. AdWords and AdSense, right? So
yeah,
yes, I know that you meant AdSense, right? Yeah. But for anybody who's not sure, right? AdWords is like you paying for the ad. AdSense is those ads getting teed up with a partner, and they take 67%. And people are like, oh well, no, the take is 67%.
Yeah.
But what we're finding by going through this even more and going through the patents, and people, and we used to say, like even on the last webinar, right? We were like, you can tweak those keywords. What you're tweaking is, you're not really tweaking what AdSense is actually teeing up. By tweaking that thing in the widget box, you're actually tweaking some of the traffic that's coming into your site, and Google looking at the quality of the user coming into the site. It's all about users. It's all about, and this is, once again, this doesn't go into, you know, oh, it's all about content. Content is king, and backlinks don't work. Backlinks sure as hell still work. You know, this is, I know that, like, it sounds like we're kind of teeing the fence here, but you've just got to be a lot more cognizant about the funnel that's coming into your site. And there's a couple of things that I have in my head that have been spinning around over the last couple of days, and I haven't even had a chance to speak to Jake because Jake has been so freaking busy. We've been so busy. As Jake and I, we're working on a ton of different things. But there's a couple of different ideas that I have that I just want to play with a little tiny bit, and we're going to put out there. But before the end of this little webinar, I'm going to ask people to go out there and do a little bit of research so we can try and see if we can speed this up.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so let's continue on.
Go down. So we break down into the claims, and I'm just going to go and I'm just going to say my comments on all the claims. And then you could go in and maybe do like a. And
we're going to post this. Do you guys want to? Did you guys say you wanted to see this in a text format post? Yes.
Yes.
Well, that was a fast yes.
Yeah, we could do that.
That was a friggin' really fast.
Or a link, please. Well, this is actually in a private base camp, so you guys aren't gonna be able to get access to this itself. But I could definitely post this online. Make a nice post out of it. Or maybe we do a course module on patents.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough though.
Or we'd have to do a course for each individual patent and break them down. That's gonna be real tough. One word, hell yes.
Okay.
All right. So anyway, Claim 1 seems to be dealing with the methods outlined in Figure 1. Claim 2 is all about their correlator block, which they go into. They have a whole different patent about their correlation engine. Claim 3 is about their backlink monitor block. Claim 4 is about the pattern identifier module. 5 is about the first abstraction of Figure 2 into a network described in Figure 1. 6 adds more modules and functionality to Claims 5 abstraction of Figure 2. I'll go over this one.
In English, what is it? Let's just break it down real fast.
Okay, so the automated, this is not going to be English, this is patenteese. Let me see, scroll up here and try to break down one of these sections I pulled out because these make more sense. Okay, so the system as described in 400, that's their drawing, may include a filter module, and the filter may include filtered backlink data obtained from the other things that we discussed, that from the network 150, so from all of the other, put this where we could access it or give us the patent number. Also, when was the patent was filed in 2012, and granted, I believe it was September 2012, and so really not all that long ago. The timing is really perfect for what we've seen happening over the past few months, like literally perfect. And then it goes into the filter 404 may then remove backlinks determined to that do not provide high value information content from determinations. So this is in place for like.
It says when was the patent filed? The patent was filed in 2012. So now we're in 2014, right?
Yep.
So they put the patent into place before they can even really start using a lot of this stuff. And then what happens is so somebody had asked, once again, I'm just kind of spitting off here at the mouth, right? Thinking that everybody can see my screen.
Yeah.
It says, when was the patent filed? So the patent was filed in 2012. They take the patent, they start to roll out some of the portions of the patent, and they do them in very small little tweaks. They do it in, on test servers, data servers. And when you guys, sometimes when you do a site colon on a site, like these big sites, where you see, all of a sudden you get 12,000 backlinks in one day, right, from indexing with index assault, and the following day you see that there's 109 backlinks. I mean, a pages index, I'm talking backlinks, right? Because they pulled out that data server and a new data server moved in.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens is
the caches are being swapped.
Right, so what happens is they may test this out within certain data servers and not others, data centers. So once they start to realize it, they'll start to roll it out, but they don't really give it as much.
It's not to everybody.
It's not to everybody, and they also will roll it out with a certain amount of weight. And as they realize it's working the way they want it to, they just dial up the weight. I mean, that's like the easiest way I can explain it, right? I mean, Jake, if you got a more technical, but they just weight it more as they realize that this stuff is working.
Yep, you file a patent when you know what you're going to build, and then you have X time to perfect it. Exactly.
That's exactly it.
And it's not only perfecting it, but it's also integrating it into a already working, or now because of this not working up to standard system. Any idea how many data centers
Tens of thousands.
Well, that's an estimation. They will not let you know how many data servers
Could be
they
hundreds
have.
of thousands.
We know that they store probably the most data in the world. Let's see, what else?
Also, patents filed in the U.S. are confidential. Not true.
No, patents are filed with the U.S. PTO. You could access them online. Maybe there's a way to get a court order to seal a patent if it is.
No, you can't, because in order for, and trust me, I've been down this road, right, of patents. In order for me to be able to file a patent, normally I have to hire my attorney to do a patent search. Most attorneys will not go ahead and file a patent until they've nailed you for the 6,000 or whatever it is.
If you can't do a patent search,
you don't know if the patent's already been.
You don't know if there's prior art. You can't have, because in the U.S. it's first to file. It is first to file, but it's not in the traditional sense of first to file with the patent office. If there's any pre-existing prior art, either on the internet or in a library somewhere,
you can fight somebody else's patent that's trying to infringe upon your intellectual
property. So if you put a Facebook post of like some genius idea you had, and then somebody goes and just makes a patent off of it, and you could then appeal to the U.S. PTO that patent should be revoked because prior art did exist and they didn't do their full due diligence. Granted, if you post it on a social network and you don't make it a public post, you only make it a private post to your friends, then the argument could be made that it was never really a public post. But anyway, we're getting way too far out of this. We're going into legal discussions now and arguments. What is the best way to access the patents that are already granted, the ones that are pending? I like searching through Google. Google has...
Did you ever bring up that... You didn't bring it up.
No, it was on it before.
No, the Google that shit.
Yeah, all right. So, not to be rude at all, I'll pull it up here. Google... What was even that, let's see. I think I put it.
Yeah, okay. Check the. Now this isn't meant to be mean, right? But every once in a while we'll get like a support ticket that comes in that has absolutely nothing to do with the tea in China, right? And nothing to do with the price of tea in China.
So this is my this is my my secret tool for helping everybody and myself. I enter in my question.
This is actually our database of Jake's mind.
This is pretty much my abstracted brain into the world, and it's all of your brains too. Everybody has access to this, so how to do SEO? How to do SEO? Click the fucking answer.
There we go. So
LMGTFY. Last time I checked, it wasn't working, and I tried to show that first. LMGTFY.com. Yep, there it is. This is a much more passive-aggressive way to do it. I have seen this one before. I was trying to actually show Andrew this one, but this one's actually pretty cool because if you do like how to do SEO and you do this here, it actually creates a link for you.
Which is
so we could preview this. No. But what it does is when you get
I like that. Yeah,
when you give someone the link, it actually goes and does a nice little search. So yeah, but I like the other one too because it's like just like yo, dude, just fucking Google it, man. But yeah, that's how I do most of my research. And that actually this patent right here, the US2 here, I type it here in Google. US 20120246134, and it's on google.com/patents.
Yeah, go right into Google, man. I'll tell you what, isn't it great when somebody actually gives you the keys to their whole house inside their house? It's like leaving your set of keys inside your car and leaving your door unlocked.
Yep. And the patent is in plain text here, as are pretty much all patents. And
but it's actually easier to read it in the PDF than it is to read it in this format, guys.
Yep.
But anyway, long story short, and we're going to wrap this portion of this up. We're going to go much more in depth in future webinars. It's basically how we're going to be doing most of our webinars, right? I mean, because the best information you could possibly get is right through these patents. So anybody who's not reading them, and once again, I know that like my brain isn't always cut out. Like I got to be in the right frame of mind to sit down and actually read this. So does Jake, But there is no better information to learn how to do SEO. What's working? Why is something happening? Why is something getting hit? The problem is that Google has so many different patents, and these things interweave with one another dramatically. It literally jumps from one patent into another, and then we'll do something and come back to another patent and then weave back into this patent. So there's like so much to honestly take away. We do need to come up with the abstractions, and we need to get these things posted because you're going to start to see that it becomes like a map. It becomes like, you ever see one of those gigantic, when like link wheels, when link wheels were big back a couple of years ago, and they would show you how all these link wheels work. Well, these patents kind of work the same exact way. But basically, the takeaway from today, right? The takeaway from looking through this patent is that if your link is crap, if your PBN is a crap PBN that you think just because it's got some power and that it's a decent page rank, and page rank is basically dead as far as to the end user. They only update it once a year, so you're getting like a quick Polaroid picture snapshot of life for that entire year. If there's no action going on your PBN at all, okay, then that link is basically not doing you a damn bit of good. So the question you have to ask yourself is the rank really that important, or is the interaction of what's going on that site what's important?
Yeah, and Google doesn't refer to other patents that they don't own.
Right.
They refer to their own patents.
They refer to their own patents back and forth, okay? So, what we're also seeing is that it mentions in multiple patents, it mentions, how Google...
What? Groups? Yeah.
It mentions groups. So basically what happens is, Google's smart enough to realize that even if your website is mentioned, like, so for instance, if you got mentioned in an article and there's not even a link back to you, Google still associates that mention back to your quote-unquote group.
Yep.
Your group is not only just your website, but it's your Facebook, it's your Twitter, it's all the stuff that surrounds
that key term.
That key term and that website that forms that group.
And this is a completely different
pattern. Okay, so what basically happens is that Google is smart enough now, and what we're realizing by going through these patents much more in depth than we ever have, is that it really has less to do with the power of that backlink, more and you know, this isn't when somebody says, oh, you need a social social media is the way of the future. In some respects, yes, because there's interaction within the social media.
But Google is still very, very interested in those
backlinks.
But what they realize, and as was described in the discussion, just the page rank and the authority and the history of that backlink is, you know, we've abused it. We figured it all out, you know, and it's
just like every technology, right, guys? It gets out there, it gets abused, it gets the hole gets closed or it gets tighter.
Exactly. So essentially, the lessons learned through this patent is: 1, Google is constantly monitoring your backlink profiles. 2, Google is most probably monitoring changes you make to your backlink profiles in response to changes in rank position. For example, we temporarily bumped you down a few spots and are now monitoring your backlink profile, watching to see if you're doing any black hat SEO techniques.
That was ranking documents.
Yeah.
But there's also another full patent that goes into that.
Yep. Well, this patent also goes pretty deep into that as well. But yes, there is. So Google monitors the backlink profiles on all SERP generations, and this data is updated in real time. And they also do it in not real time, just when a backlink group is related, they'll now start searching through that group of backlinks. So it doesn't even have to be a SERP result for that your site's being considered for. It could just be a completely different SERP result. So then Google not only loads the full backlink profile of every site, but they also load and analyze those backlinks for content relevant. But they also analyze those backlinks for content relevancy. And then once those are analyzed, Google then repeats this process for every backlink of those backlink sites. And finally, backlink rank, strength, and weight is determinant on far more variables than previously imagined.
Are you guys starting to see the picture though, basically of what's going on? I mean, or do we got to break it down just a little bit more? Because I really want to make sure that we have time for questions, but I really want to make sure that everybody gets the takeaway and that they don't just feel like, holy crap, this is technical jargon that we're not grasping here.
Yep. So if your PBN is about Nike shoes, and then you link it to a roofing money site, and then
so for instance, let's say you buy a PBN, okay, or you go to auction and you go, wow, this shit has great metrics, okay, and all of a sudden you rebuild the website and you slap a link on it, and that link now has absolutely no history at all with Google, okay. Don't think that backlink is going to be pushing anything to you. Now, it sits on a PBN that absolutely has nothing fucking going on.
Nobody's
visiting it. Nobody's going to it. Nobody's clicking on the link to get through.
It's not in any backlinks on any social media sites.
But somebody goes,
like,
well,
nobody's clicking it.
But everybody says, well, no big deal. I just put on Spider Spanker, or I put on DigiLink Doctor, and I'm pushing all the 404 page. Well, that's great, but nobody's still visiting it, so it doesn't freaking matter. You've got to get your PBNs, guys. If you're going to be building out a PBN, okay, you're almost, and I'm going to go out on a limb saying this, right? But I would much rather have a PBN that has 0 backlinks going to it, okay? Mm-hmm. It's not really, but will rank for shit that people will click on and continue through that funnel than something that has 3,000 backlinks going to it and we think we has a shitload of metrics. That's what we're seeing, which is just... And yes, and Steve, you're saying relevance, but it's more than relevance. It's a matter of that site should rank, people should hit it. Google has to see the flow from that link. So for instance, you look at a CNN article, right? And a CNN article is absolutely great because they'll link back to the source. Same thing with Huffington Post and everything else.
Shared by 200, 300
people. Shared by 200, 300 people, and then you click on it.
through the social network, it's being clicked, being rerouted
Okay,
to the
so
CNN.
my wife is a huge fan of, let's say, of Pink, right? You know,
Okay, sure.
and Pink is actually ultra hot, okay? I realized that last night as I was looking at this thing, right? So anyway, long story short, she forwarded me an article, right? It was, honestly, it was through Facebook. She goes, oh, you know, I posted on my Facebook page, and I know Frank's friends with my wife, and, you know, go ahead, Frank, you can make the wife jokes. So, you know, and I click on it, and it brings me right into the post where that was posted of Pink on an article with, it was a video with a little bit of a blurb when she was on the Ellen DeGeneres show. You know how many people actually clicked on that, went through to that link? Dude, any link on that page, because, you know, because it was linked through, it just gives it so much more power. It's like, so we're looking at different ways of being able to socially push people to links and have them actually kind of follow a funnel straight through, which would actually take a PBN, make it almost irrelevant as far as what the backlinks and everything else is, and just through the user interaction with it, actually will give you everything that this Google patent is looking for.
Yep.
It's crazy.
Yep. So they have.
So why not put AdSense on your PBN? Well, to be honest with you, well, honestly, at this point now, somebody had the question. So why not put AdSense on your PBN? Well, this would be my thing. If I put AdSense on my PBN, after reading this patent, Google actually looks at, and within this patent, I think it was mentioned that that click-through ratio is actually even ads generated. We were talking about that. I'd want those click-throughs actually going through to my main money site, so Google can watch the flow. I don't think AdSense would be horrific because they're seeing user interaction.
As long as there's interaction on it, but if there's nothing happening and you've
and also not only that, but you know, the reason why you're not going to want to put AdSense on there is for the footprint reason as well, that the same publisher code is on all these sites that are now trying to push back to you. So for that reason alone, I would say hell no. But I'm talking about like the reason AdSense being on the site. I mean, if you didn't have that footprint, which, you know, it wouldn't be a horrific thing, but you do have the footprint, so no.
Now there's two questions here which are very similar. So, so are you guys saying that PBN links networks will not work anymore without getting traffic to these PBN sites first? And that leads into this other question here, which goes, doesn't this make PBNs irrelevant if the end result is to get traffic to your money sites? And that's what Google's aiming for here, but not yet.
Right.
It's being scaled up. They're making sure that the theory that they had, that they went and patented and then they built and now they're slowly putting into place, actually works and is not detracting from their profit flow.
Right, so what you're seeing is like these PBNs getting de-indexed, people going, I have a whole network. They're basically, right through this patent, are able to pick up that this is a website linking, all of these websites are linking back to the same location and none of them have any interaction going through them. It's like, you might as well call Matt Cutts and say, take a look at these based on this. So we're not saying that it's irrelevant, okay? Not by any stretch.
And it's probably not going to be for a little bit of time, but that timeline, that window is getting smaller and smaller. Please put the actual patent number in the question box. Yeah, I can do that for you. I'll send it to everybody. Let me scroll up here.
So no, what we're saying is that it's not that these PBNs are dead, right? We're not actually, we'll never scream PBNs are dead because links are always the lifeblood of Google. They're just trying to weed out what's legitimate links versus what's not legitimate links. And what they're doing is they're looking at the user metrics going through those sites to say, this is just being used to manipulate us or this is not. And there are lots of different ways that we can go about trying to tailor how Google's going to look at these sites. But you know what? Once again, we still got to do a little bit of research before we really start putting things out. But I already have a couple of ideas in my head that we're going to start testing right off the bat.
Can we fake? Oh, I sent that privately. I should have sent that to all.
Went here.
Yeah.
Oh, God, why is my...
Let's see if I could re-answer this.
I love when we're sitting here on these webinars and my phone like fucking starts blowing up for no reason.
Please, let's see. Oh, I gotta type it again. That's all right.
All right. So Let me just try and go through some of the questions real fast, right? So it says, God, there's a lot of questions that'll start popping in. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to end off on the patent thing here. We got a lot of questions that people want to ask us.
This doesn't affect SLL sites, correct? Correct.
I think once again, okay. So let's scroll up real fast and let's just go right through these questions, Jake. I want to make sure that everybody gets.
And I'm gonna break from here as well. Yes, I want to close.
All right. First of all, do you guys like the concept of going through? Because obviously we always like to get the feedback, right? Do you guys like the concept of us going through these patents? And yes, Ebola has a patent too. We're going to go through that hopefully shortly. Yep. Awesome. Okay, yeep.
Yeep, yes.
Best to understand the enemy. Absolutely.
Yep. I like how you put that, understand the enemy.
Let's go back.
Yep. Jumping the gun here. All right.
All right, so let's just scroll up real fast. And actually, you know what? Let's tee up with this. Let's continue through our slideshow. I'm jumping all over the place. Let's go through the back. Okay, so all right. So real fast, what else is new before we get into all the questions? I know that we've been like cock teasing you guys, and for all of you guys that really don't like the bad language, well, go fuck yourself, okay? You know, if we have any priests or ministers or rabbis in the group, you know what?
They've heard worse.
Yeah, go touch a kid.
Do you hear the Orthodox dude in D.C., the chief of the Orthodox synagogue? No. He got arrested on the same thing.
Actually, for those of you guys that don't know, right, because we also like to have playful banter, right? I've actually been so busy because I'm actually hopefully settling on my lawsuit against the Catholic Church. For those of you guys that don't know, like my mother was a Catholic school teacher for 20 years, and I was an altar boy and the whole 9 yards. But I'm actually settling on my lawsuit against the Catholic Church because I wasn't touched when I was a kid. Like what the fuck was wrong with me, right? It blew my self-esteem, and I got to be honest with you, I used to go into the altar boy closet and I was like, Father, my zipper's stuck, and nothing ever happened. So you know what? That's it. Fuck it. I'm suing them, and you know we can settle out of court for about $10 million.
I always wonder why the candles were so big.
All right. So what else? So I know that we just honestly we just really went into the toilet with that, which is
you
cool.
guys have been greatly influenced by the SEO show. I don't know if "great's" the right word for that.
Okay. So listen. I know that we've been teasing you as far as the landlord beta. Okay. There was a couple of reasons. We actually thought it was going to be done a lot faster than it was. We ran into some major issues, but with those major issues, we actually found some really majorly cool things, okay? So what we're looking to do is we are looking to launch this next week, and we will have an email out as soon as we're able to speak to everybody within our team to make sure that we can absolutely handle this. But we are truly looking for next week, at least launching out to all of those people that have actually put in for the beta test. And once again, we truly apologize. We hate to be those people that go, oh, we have this, and we're going to put it out, and then we just keep everybody strung along. I mean, was not the goal. But unfortunately, that's sort of what happened, but we've made it ultra cool. I'm talking guys like 1.6 million page websites, just crushing it, just ridiculous. Okay, so we will stand by. We will get an email out to you guys on that. I promise. And this is half the reason why Jake hasn't been sleeping at all. So, you know, I can tell you that it's not for lack of trying. Okay. And with that being said, we are going to jump into your questions.
Yep, and we're approaching 10 minutes over our session.
Yeah, which is cool,
but at the same time, it's got tons of stuff.
Yeah, and not only that, but you know, we want to make sure that we get to your questions, and you guys, we love the playful banter too, which is really fun because SEO should be fun.
Yeah,
if SEO is looked at as work for you all day long, then you're doing something wrong. SEO should be fun. We really get a big kick out of, first of all, dealing with our members and some of the fun times that we have with them. That's half the reason why the SEO show, why we love the SEO show, right? It's really supposed to be just like unwinding for an hour, but still being able to talk about SEO, like hanging out, having a beer, talking shop of SEO without the real seriousness of everything that goes on.
You could go out to any bar and talk about football or baseball or
there's no place that you can hang
out and talk about SEO.
My wife throws and Jake knows my wife, Ben knows my wife, Nick, everybody knows my wife, right? And shut up, Frank. I know where this is going, right? But she's friends with you on Facebook, and she'll crush you. What's it called? But like, she don't want to hear about it. You know, even my best of friends, they don't want to fucking hear about SEO. They don't want to hear about, oh my God, dude, we just ripped through this patent and this is the coolest shit. So this is a great outlet for us too, okay? And honestly, my wife appreciates the fact that we come here and we talk about it rather than me having to fucking ignore her.
And with regards to the SEO show, it's going to be a little bit more structured moving forward. It's going to be not so much just a stream of consciousness, but more of a an organized SEO show with different freaking really cool SEO segments and some cool discussions. We're going to be bringing on people who are putting out their own products.
Absolutely.
And bring them in, interviewing them.
Which also reminds me, Justin, I know you're on here. Shoot me an email with your phone number. I wanted to give you a call after.
Yep. And
I love that when we just throw something in there like that random.
Give me a call. All right.
It's my ADD kicking in, I'm telling you. All right, so going down, we're just going to start going through some of the questions here, all right? So, all right, so let's just start with this. It's a no-brainer. It's all about relevance. And yeah, it is. It's about relevance, ranking, and interaction at this point. A good portion of it is.
Yep.
All right, so, here is the overall question. How will this hurt me? Or how does it help me? What needs to be done to make sure websites that we create are not de-indexed? Well, basically, what needs to happen is there needs to be some interaction on there. And to be honest with you, we're not just going to throw this out there and say, there needs to be interaction on your websites. Go figure it out. I have a couple of great ideas about what I think is going to work really well, but I need to test it fully before I throw it out there to you guys. And I may grab a bunch of you guys to jump into a mastermind and test this shit out with me. We love to grab as many of our members as we can and try and get them involved in shit. We think it's great for you guys to kind of start to learn as we learn. And also just, it will make you better overall.
Look, if you could have 4 people working on a project instead of 2 people, you just doubled your man hours every single day.
Without a doubt. And as long as everybody's on the same sheet of music, it would be huge. So,
yeah, 89% of PBNs get
very little traffic. You're absolutely right.
Google knows that, so they had to figure out a way to figure out what sites are getting traffic. So my sites must be useful to real people then.
Yeah, in some respects. Yeah, they absolutely do need to be. Maybe we should write an article on the PBN site that is relevant to the old content. You know what, Nick? Possibly. But if it's not being engaged regardless, then we're thinking that it's probably not worth pushing that hard. And like I said, we're not just going to leave you guys out there with like, well, PBN's the way that you're building them. Suck, don't do it. See you later. Have a great day. But like when people are going out and selling the services, version 16 of something or version 12, version 3, version 4, version 8, and this is the best. Well, I can guarantee you that they're private blogs. Yeah, you can go out, you can scrape as many fucking domains as you want, and the shit, that's great. And it's great to create that foundation on. Mm-hmm. But if nothing's fucking going on there, then you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money at this point, based on the direction that we see it going, based on the patents that Google has put into place, and seeing the feedback that we get from everybody. Now, listen, guys.
It worked.
I get, listen, my email, just as we're on this webinar, like I got like 60 new emails, right? Because I'm on like everybody's list. I always love to see what people are talking about, okay? And you have these gurus that are saying, PBNs aren't being de-indexed, and we see that they are, right?
Well, they might not be de-indexed from the Google search result, but there's a whole series of modules that plug into the algorithm in the back end.
So doing a site colon and seeing that the site is there doesn't mean that it's doing jack squat for you. What we're trying to say is that, it just needs to change slightly. And we're going to obviously start tailoring ways and methods of what we think needs to happen, and we're going to explore it. So, all right, so continuing going. Potential idea, some sort of software script that goes through and interacts. You know what? Sounds like a great idea in theory, and I can tell you that we've used certain proxies and stuff like that if done wrong will actually, it will allow you to search, but Google does nothing with some of these proxies and actually will start to penalize sites that are being visited by these proxies because it realizes that these proxies are used in black hat methods, and it actually flags the site by doing it. So you want to be really freaking careful. I love the way of thinking, right? It sounds great, and trust me, we've explored this, but you better be damn well careful about what you're doing, and let us go through and try and explore some of this stuff out just to see what we know is working, and then we're going to come back with what we know doesn't work and what we do know works, and maybe we can all expand upon it together a little bit further, but we want to be real careful about that. The automated shit can really be ugly, because, like I said, it's not that it's just not counting it. It's actually penalizing it.
Well, it's analyzing the entire user flow.
Oh, okay, so it seems like we need to rank the PBN. I would say, Justin, yeah, I mean, that's really what it's saying, right? You need to rank the PBN almost as its own freestanding thing. Like, and some people, I think some of the gurus were actually hitting on it where they're like, well, create the website, and I think, Charles was actually mentioning it. He's like, create the website like it's its own entity. Yeah. Create the website. Yeah, that's exactly it. And then it should have user interaction with it, because you're building it to actually be a real website than a manipulation tool at that point.
For you guys who visit Charles' blogs and you want to download his white papers,
Charles is a smart dude. We really like him.
Oh yeah, now, he actually posted on the forum. I had written up a response to him, and then it just got lost in the 50 million tabs I had open. And
for those of you that don't know, and Charles, listen, I'm not even sure if Charles is in here.
Probably not. He's 6 time zones away.
No, I think he's in Canada right now. But let's, Charles, we didn't connect the other day. I'd like to still connect. Yeah, like I said, we love free thinkers. We love innovative thinkers.
Well, no, what I was saying, though, was in order to download his white paper, you have to click the like box for that article.
Which still works, but Facebook, I was just telling Jake that Facebook is actually starting to smack people that do that shit now.
Yeah, but the whole theory behind it, it's not because he's vain and he wants you to like his page, and sure he'll make some money, by maybe somebody in your network clicks it. The probability of that happening is extremely low, but that metric itself is important to Google.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so question again, is Google monitoring every effing thing? Your PBNs will have to have real content sites. Yeah, basically, Google is looking at the whole user flow funnel. Yep. It's looking at what exactly transpires, how somebody got to your website, which method they did. If it wasn't right through direct search, they're looking at the whole funnel and they're analyzing it, which is like really mind-boggling. It's a shitload of resources, but and once again, I don't think that it does it on every single. It's looking at it from a 26,000 view, right? It's looking at it like a fucking drone looking down.
It's a bird's eye view. It's the entire of all the data coming through.
It's not saying that Susie did this. What it's looking at is, hey, look, this website's not really getting a lot of traffic, and this link is not being clicked on at all. There's issues here. This is not natural. Filter.
That's just one of the modules. Then there's another module that's just dedicated to figuring out whether that's a relevant resource to the site it's being directed to. And then there's another one that goes out and figures out, is this in our filter of sites that we know are pay-for black hat SEO sites? And if it is, we're going to knock all the rank out. In fact, we might even reverse it and make it a negative factor towards that site. And you guys get your warnings in your webmaster tools and whatnot. And
in content, all sorts of, and we're seeing new weird messages showing up in webmaster tools posted all over the place.
That's because they want you to buy ads.
Absolutely. I said, dudes, answer the question. I think we did before, but if we didn't, just put it back in there. We have so many questions coming in, like overrun. We got a little tsunami of questions here going on right now. So your PBN is no longer a PBN. No, your PBN is still a PBN. It just has to be thought about different.
Maybe it's a BN.
Yeah, maybe it's a
It's more of a.
No, I mean private blog. No, it's still a PBN. It's just
the way you're interlinking it and you're building it.
It's still working, but it's a matter of just maybe how you're looking at what sites you're using for your PBN.
Yeah.
Has to be completely rethought. So what are you saying, that PBN interlinks will not work anymore without getting traffic? No, we're not saying that. What we're saying is it's going to be less and less and less and less. It says, so you are saying that PBN link networks will not work anymore without getting traffic. What we're saying is that those links will either A, not have as much effect, B, potentially could get you penalized, see, we'll get the website it's on fucking penalized if there's not some sort of interactive
but not right
flow.
away. We're going to see. Look, the patent was released in 2012 or published in 2012.
We're really starting to see it starting to just really crush
out now. It probably took them about a year to fully integrate through all the iterations of their different modules. It probably took them another 6 months in beta testing on the back end, which brings us into late 2013.
Yep.
And then we started seeing stuff happening.
Probably late 2014 at that point.
Yeah, late 2014. No, not late 2014.
Early 2014.
Early
I'm sorry. I apologize. Yep.
And then we started seeing this PBN stuff hit, and then it sort of died off for a little bit as they redacted some of the stuff they had put in, and then made it or recoded it, refactored it, changed the weights of the different variables in the system.
And it's an ongoing fluid process.
Exactly. All this stuff gets integrated and removed and then changed a little. And
it's a matter that you guys are seeing which way it's going right now, more so than and because as you start to see it more and more, you're going to be able to understand what's actually going on with your sites, with your private blog networks, and you're going to be able to start understanding why shit's happening. And as people start reporting, oh my God, my fucking blogs are being de-indexed. Is it because of this? Is it because of this? Well, it could be because there's just no user. I mean,
you have all these backlinks pointing to this place, and you have a bajillion freaking backlinks pointing to you. And now they're analyzing your money site, right? Which means they're analyzing the backlink profile from the money site. So now they're analyzing your PBN. And they're now seeing all the backlinks from your PBN, so now they're going to go and look at all of those sites.
And for instance, those of you that were using, let's say, GSA, right, which is just like a mass freaking crap link builder, right? And they go, okay, we're going to just blast our PBNs because we want to make sure that there's enough power there with GSA. Well, nobody is going to click on a profile link. Nobody's going to click on one of those crap, links that are being made by GSA to click through to your PBN that clicks through to your money site. It just doesn't happen. Mm-hmm. So that's the reason why the shit is just really, that thought process is just outdated at this point.
I mean, there's actually a specific module for comments detection too.
Yeah.
So
it's a real content site. Yes, it's a real content site. But there's maybe plenty of them out there already. This is where my mind is going. But I'm gonna keep that under the hood right now until I can do a little bit more research. Does that make the PBN irrelevant if at the end result?
That's Google's end result.
That's Google's end result, is that it makes the PBN irrelevant if it's just not accounting it in the equation. So how do we get interaction with a PBN site that's no longer, Nick, that's a great question. How do we get interaction to a PBN site? Well, the question is, do we want to spend our time trying to get interaction going on a site that's not ranking and not doing anything? Or do we already want to find something that maybe is getting interaction and just being able to leap on that already? Yeah, and that's where my mind is going. So does it make PBNs irrelevant? No, it makes PBNs maybe look like a completely different animal.
Yep.
Okay? And not the way that every the SEO parrot is out there saying we need to build PBNs. They're right, but the definition of PBN is going to change. And we're going to change it. Right here,
right
it's
now.
Semi-easy, we're going to change it. Put the actual patent, I think we did that. Does this affect SLL sites? This doesn't affect SLL sites, right? No, and the reason why it doesn't affect the SLL sites is because it actually works much better, right? Because we're attacking it from a completely different avenue of being able to rank really well for long-tail keywords in mass volume, and it's getting the interaction because people are actually finding it in the SERP results and taking action and clicking on the sites and everything else. So actually completely not affected. Once again, we didn't even realize that was as good as it was. That's really fucking, that's...
Hopefully you have to make anybody who's outranking us right now with black hack tactics will just be taken down. It'll boost the
absolutely. You have to make your PBN a real content site. And you know what? What I'm going to say is, because there's going to be I can see a lot of questions already jumping in here about the content on your PBN. Your PBN that you have right now, the system you have, may just be inadequate and irrelevant at this point. Once again, when I tell people when their website gets hammered and they get de-indexed, sometimes, and not all the times, because there was also different methods of how to get your website back into the SERPs again, but sometimes it's just better off starting over. okay? So with your PBN, you may be just better off starting over. And that's just the best that I can say about it right now. Like I said, we went through this stuff. We've been tearing through it. I don't have all the answers right now, but I have all the answers. I have all the questions that need to be answered with how we start moving forward and doing our research here, and even some of the things that we've been doing. I need to go back and see what's happened with them and really analyze that. It would seem that if we want to rank the PBN with long-tail keywords and the money site with more competitive keywords, yeah, I mean, you want a funnel, right? I mean, because that's what this is all about. It's a funnel up to your money site. So yes, it could be that you're trying to rank with long-tail keywords, which gets the interaction. Yes, it absolutely could be that. But we're going to come up with a bunch of different methods. Absolutely. And you know what? And Justin, I love the way you think. And yes, I got your email, and that's why I want to talk to you after this, okay? So let's move on with this.
I already went over that one.
Couldn't we fake traffic? Yes, we talked about fake traffic. And you know what? Once again, it's going to be pretty easy for Google to detect whether or not you're faking that traffic based on the IPs and based on that whole flow. On the Hangouts 2 weeks ago, I asked how to speed up building landlord site style. Jake said you would be building your sites in cloud. Well, I did press the effing button, enter the effing search term, and even read the effing results, and I still am effing confused. If it's not proprietary, could you please explain a bit more? Yeah, I mean, we'll get into that, but I'm not going to get into it right now. Basically, what we did was we built software that builds all of our sites in the cloud, for the most part. Yep. You know, and that's how we build it. But it's it's our own software that we did. What is an SLL site? For those of you that don't know, an SLL site is basically a SERP landlord style site. Okay, a SERP landlord site. It was created a while back. We figured out a method of how to build out massive style websites that gain basically page one rankings really fast. Within a week, we have like 300,000 pages indexed, and it funnels all of that traffic, all of that organic traffic to wherever the hell you want to point it to. So that's what an SLL site is. Ebola has a patent. Yes, it does. Wow, I really scrolled up hard, and I think that there's a shitload of questions here. Yeah. I was an ultra. Okay, this is, yeah, I'm going to hell. I'm going to hell. Yep, Jesus, I'm going to hell.
Wow.
You know, and it's funny because actually for all the you know, I'm also going to be hated by all the Spanish people. I actually saw a bumper sticker which I laughed my ass off. It was two Spanish guys with like tattoos and everything else. It says it says Jesus, right? So it's pronounced either Jesus or Jesus. Jesus loves me means something completely different in a Mexican prison. You know, Jesus loves me means I thought that was absolutely I was dying. It was freaking hysterical. All right, so.
How to rank Viagra site.
Yep. What theme will this work with?
Or is it a theme? That's about landlord. It's prepackaged for 2012. It doesn't need another theme because the whole point is to use a double agent overlay.
Please, my servers are killing me. Yeah, Steve, I think I wrote back to you in your support ticket. What happens is you guys are starting to learn, like you guys are putting out sites, like you kind of got the site build process. Some of you guys got it down, right? What happens is you whack your website with index assault, and you basically, you know, what you do is, which is kind of smart, right? So you build one site, you jump right onto the build for the next site. You build the next, as you're waiting for all of that to happen, you're jumping onto the build for the next site. So like all your sites within a short period of time, usually while you're sleeping, you have 2 to 3 sites done by the time you wake up in the morning. You go, okay, shit, now it's time to index these things out. And you know as well as I do, I mean, that's our favorite part, right? We love to hit the index button. We love to watch the spiders just ripping into our websites and tearing it apart, right? The problem is that if you don't have a killer server, Google's bots are actually doing a DDoS attack on your server. First of all, your server. I mean, I can't tell you how many people we've had contact us and say index assault works too well. My server company banned me. Yeah. I mean, we've had that. I actually worked with Joe Noel one night when I was away on vacation because his server company was just freaking ready to throw him off, and I wanted to make sure that he got rolled over. They gave him like fucking no notice at all. So we were going through all that shit. So yeah, that's a problem. The servers are an issue. Love the conversation here. Thanks, we appreciate it. We love the feedback. I got an okay from Justin. Okay.
Okay. I'll call you later.
Set up PBN sites on tier 1. This used to be a very used theme like 2012 on every site in the network. Or better to mix up the themes. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. So no, on PBN sites, you really, I mean, the way that I'm looking at PBN sites now, the whole theme concept may be a non-issue.
Yeah.
And like I said, I really don't want to jump out there and give away what I'm thinking, because people are going to start trying to do it and they're going to go, holy crap, you were right, you were wrong. I mean, I want a little bit of time to be able to get my thoughts together and test, because we're all about testing and making sure that what we tell you guys work. So just hang tight. But if you have PBNs right now, yeah, you need to make them not only like look, but the feel to push them into a funnel to make people do what you want. It's like a really cool, like, you know, image button, like, here, check this for like great, cool content image, right? You let somebody click on it and they go into your site now. You push them through a funnel. I don't know. You know, try. It's a matter of trying everything.
Well, I mean, there's a reason, as you guys have seen on like the big fucking, you know, all the big media provider, internet media providers, and you know, it used to be you'd have a whole long post of images if they're doing an image post or like an expose on something. And then it was, if it started really with the newspapers, and they'd split their articles into 3 pages, 4 pages.
Well, the reason why they did that also was because they were getting paid based on page view.
Sure, and the ads being displayed.
And the ads being displayed,
yeah,
and everything else. And when they were charging their people, because let's face it, more so than Google and Facebook, right? The people that realized they were going to have the fucking hardest time online making money were newspapers.
Yeah.
I mean, they still have to have all the staff, still have to have the shit written, but like they couldn't figure out a way to really monetize. So they go, okay, no big deal. What we're going to do is we're going to charge people to join our shit. And everybody's like, yeah, that's great, but you know, I can find the same article for free on other sites. Mm-hmm. So then it was like, well, we can't, but we can archive things out, which also works really good for online reputation management, right? Mm-hmm. Where an article went up about somebody, and we know that within a month the shit's going to go into archive because they want to start charging people, and they just put a little abstract out, which is a lot weaker, and they changed the URL, and they did all sorts of stupid shit, and they're still doing it. It's amazing. I guess one company puts out like a template for these newspapers, and a lot of them jump on it. I know our local newspaper did, and a couple of other local ones did. They just have really shitty SEO people there. But what they did realize is that
I remember we saw some.
Oh, it was fucking horrific. It was horrible. And they would change the URL like it was like you know, this was the top story today, and then it would get pushed into a different URL. The following day it would get pushed into a different URL. It was horrific what they were doing. But they were splitting up the article over multiple pages for page views, but also for that they didn't even realize it. It was helping them because
Google
of their
didn't care at the time. At the time, it was doing absolutely nothing, but now it actually is a good practice.
It was interaction, you know, the whole read more shit. It's actually good practice, and actually makes them interact. And if people are actually visiting the site to begin with, Mastermind sounds great. Absolutely, guys, count me in. I can't get in the shit. Can I get in the shit? Oh, can I get in the shit? Oh, fucking.
Yeah, if you're interested in the Mastermind group, we'd love to have you in it.
I have a son who's in 2nd grade, and sometimes I read like him. So, guys, this is private. Chat with us on what you've just...
We've talked about so much stuff, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure
what that's in reference to.
Software that...
software that finds all sites that have lots of traffic in your niche where you could drop a link.
Interesting.
Yeah, that might work.
What about a script through Tor? Let me just tell you, we love Tor, but Google doesn't respond to Tor. It knows it's Tor. Charles, what's his last name? It's God of SEO. Somebody's asking about Charles.
I was a technology. What? Oh wait.
FYI.
The God of SEO CA is his website, and I believe his last name is Flote.
It's French.
Charles Flote.
Okay.
He's going to write an article about me now.
Okay. FYI, I was a technology development engineer. So he was a TDE. That's what he was, a technology development engineer.
Very cool.
Believe me, understanding and reversing engineering a patent is a challenge. Remember reading outside the box.
Absolutely. Yeah, because what they're discussing in their descriptions, there's always the legalese clause in there, like, this is just an explanation. It's not a limitation. We could still do other stuff with this, or we could integrate other modules or whatever. And yeah, there's a lot.
What about having a Google search box on your browser can track you like Gmail, I'm assuming?
Google search box on your browser. In the browser, like itself, I don't think in Firefox or Safari. If you're typing into it, then you're sending out data to Google. Then that would be tracking, your SERP or your every time you do a key press and it's connecting through Ajax to the autocomplete out.
So Nick actually asked a really good question. I like this question, right? So are we going to get our client sites de-indexed using PBNs? And this is what I would tell you. I don't think that you're going to get your client site de-indexed because they probably have a bunch of other methods of how they're bringing traffic into their site as well. But it's just your PBN network. First of all,
it's going to lose its juice.
It's going to lose its juice, and it may actually give a negative impact towards your client site. I don't necessarily see it getting de-indexed. I think Google wants to de-index that PBN itself and not de-index the website. But I don't think it's going to get de-indexed because of the fact that it probably has a lot of user interaction going on. I mean, it's what that PBN should sort of be. So it's a great question, Nick. And if so, what the fuck are we going to do to rank them? Like I said, give me a little bit. I'm working on a couple of things. I would like to actually maybe, like I said, start to create a little mastermind ourselves, start throwing things around, getting a group of members from our site that maybe we put into like a little mastermind shit where once a week, this is what we're working on. Guys, go and let's do this, or maybe twice a week. We meet up, we discuss the shit, and then as we find shit, we can put it out to everybody else. I really love that concept, that idea. I think it's hot.
I'm in the UK, and I know zilch about the USA. How can I do a realistic, successful market research?
Where are we? I'm at Fiverr right now.
I skipped over the
blast, link shortener, and link to money site. No, I wouldn't do that. Fucking A. 301 a PBN site to a national site. You never know. Once again, not loving that much. I mean, I just don't think it's the solution to the problem.
The wave of the future is not PBNs, guys.
No, it's not. It's not. But we have a couple of ideas. Like I said, I am based in the UK. I know zilch about the US. How can I realistically, successfully market research so I can purchase a landlord subscription and dominate a niche?
Yeah, we've actually, the new algorithms are going to be able to take in
the UK as well, hopefully.
Exactly.
Yep. So, sorry guys, a bit late. Had a massive curry. And we're talking about patents. Yes, we're talking about patents, Mark. And I've been friends with Mark for a long time. Love Mark. Really, really, really solid guy. We go all the way back to the I days, and I'm not going to even mention what the I day is. And we've connected, and we run a lot of things past one another. Mark's a really, really, really smart dude. What about how important is it for the sites and PBNs to interact with social media sites? It's about really creating a solid group, guys. I really want you guys to think about it like creating a group, okay, versus a PBN. I mean, this is really the best way I can explain it. You want a solid group of shit pointing to your site and funneling shit to your site. If we stop thinking about PBNs and going, okay, we can manipulate the shit with a PBN and start thinking about how we build a solid group. So, building up your social, I mean, everybody, going back about a year ago, right? You had a lot of these WSOs and a lot of these, fairy princess dust shit going, okay, social media is the way to go. Well, they were sort of onto something, right? And it wasn't the fact that it had to be a social media site. It was the fact that there was interaction pushing through a funnel to your website. So they started to hit on it, but they didn't really quite understand why. It's just that social was just such everything's social. We're all going social. And people didn't understand why we were going social. They just looked at it as traffic methods. But it's more than traffic methods. It's rolling over to the data that's being stored in reference to your SEO and ranking metrics as well. So, that's a portion of it, but it's not like let's drop PBNs and start social networking campaigns. That's not going to do it either. That'll drag a lot of traffic to your site, and it's not a bad thing. But it's not that
if you do that, Google's going to see that the backlink profile changed from whatever you're doing before down to nothing, and then you're just screwed.
It's like I said, I don't want anybody to walk away here saying we need to stop PBNs. We can't do PBNs.
That's not the takeaway here.
Right. We're not looking to do. It's all about social media. It's all about social sites. That's not it either. Okay. So, there's a lot of different methods and stuff like that we need to look at. And like I said, we need some time. And once again, I think a mastermind group is a great idea. Okay, surely it doesn't need to be a lot of visitors, just some.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be a lot of visitors, but it needs to show interaction is really what it is. Mini landlord site training, we actually did a little bit of it, which was dominating the SERPs. Yep. We will definitely get more, into that a little bit more. Calculate PBN site plus SERP shaker, national, and then gets traffic. That's sort of some of the methods that we use as it stands right now, but I do see that I'm going to have to start changing some of the stuff that we do. Secret project, yep, we're going to get into that.
Let's see what else we got. For 30,000 post site, I usually use index. For 1,000 posts, should I do more or less? To be completely honest, guys, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter. Honestly, once the spiders start hitting the site, they're going to start to ravage the site.
Yeah, you want to have enough in there so that if your interlinking is not perfected, then it's still going to find everything.
That the spiders have a starting place to start and then rip through. But really what it comes down to is it really depends on servers, man. It all depends on what your shit can take. How badly can you beat up on it? It's like your car. Somebody's saying, how fast can it go? Well, it all depends on what you got under the hood, right? I set up index assault and selected share. Had set up for 1750. I did 175. Should I do a nuclear strike again? No, if you have the crawlers already hitting the site, there's really no need to. The problem is that, it takes Google a while to try and find some new sites.
I think you said it only did 175 building in the sitemap, which
no, that's fine. That's fine. So that's 10%.
It should have done them all, but whatever.
No, he selected share.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah. And what the different selection model is just.
There's hard limitations, and then it changes how many it's going to do in each hop.
But honestly, as long as you have a bunch of pages, and we've gotten a bunch of support tickets where people have said, I set up like the shared VPS or whatever else, and like the videos aren't showing on my post. Go to your video sitemap, and if it created a video sitemap, just click on those links, and you'll see that they're in some of the posts. They might not be in all of them because of the settings that you used when you created the sitemap.
Yeah.
Like cracked, yes. Like cracked. Like cracked?
Like cracked? I don't know what that's in reference to.
Can you slow down
the IA?
Yeah. Well, you can. I mean, I think that if you really limit the amount of pages, it will be slower. But
yeah, if you do 10, but then what's the
point? Splitting pages will increase the time on the site. Yes, it will. Yes, absolutely. That's what we were just talking about. Put us in a mastermind group. Absolutely. A lot of people saying, count me in on a mastermind group. If my PBN sites are still showing they are indexed, how do we know if they've been de-indexed? Yeah, it's sort of. I like that. Right?
Google juice.
Google juice, and that's really
You can't.
No, you can't. But I can tell you that I really love that expression, de-Google juiced.
Yeah.
Ben, write that down. De-Google juiced.
De-Google.
Yeah, cyber innovation. We're going to give you. We'll give you creds on that.
I wonder if you can buy that at the store.
Okay, thanks. Is it possible to rank snapshot dick pics? Thank
Probably
you,
not, but I think Ben will take them.
Yeah.
From Frank? No, thank you.
From Nate.
From Nate.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there you go, Nate. Oop, there it is. Holy shit, that was...
It makes a difference who's sending
Okay, that's just fantastic. Awesome.
Fantastic, yeah.
Mastermind group, great idea, by the way. Andrew, please count me in for the mastermind. We got a bunch of people asking for the mastermind, which is pretty cool.
Okay, so the mastermind group is going to be an additional $50 a month, bringing it back, or no, whatever it is, bringing it back to $99 a month, guys, and there's going to be a big buy button at the end of this webinar. No. All
right. So cracked was in reference to breaking an article over multiple pages for interaction.
Oh,
yeah. Cyber Bob. That's cyber innovation. That's the Google juiced. I actually really like that. Don't worry about it. Some other guru will be putting out some WSO about Google juiced at some point. Thumbs up. Thank you, Justin. Hey, Justin, listen. I checked out your video. Actually, unfortunately, I only got to check it out today, and I actually woke Jake up to it because Jake had passed out here in the office, and I actually, it was freaking solid. It was solid. That's the reason why I want to talk. I really liked it. Problem is, it takes down the servers on 17,000 videos. Yeah, so bring it down. You can limit it to, let's say, start with 500, start with 1,000, It does. I mean, Steve, I know that that's the issue that you're having because your sites looked really solid. Basically, guys, Steve was having an issue that he was basically getting a DDoS attack. And the solutions are really this, okay? Lower the amount of videos that you have, and Google still may just fucking ravage the site, okay? But it's the only sort of control that you have.
Yeah, you could put up a spider spanker.
No, I wouldn't.
I hate that because you're telling Google, hey, come check out my
You're like a
site.
high school fucking, you're like a girl I dated in high school. It was a tease. It was like, come to my site and then no. You know, I mean, you know, no, and I'm not, and I'm not saying let's get roofies involved here or anything. All I'm saying is, you know, you don't want to get in the way of the spiders, right? So what you want to do is either decrease that or spread out the pages. What we've seen, and we have, like I said, some pretty terrific servers. I mean, some of the best that I've seen, hardcore, but we pay through the nose from. What we see is a spike of like right, 24, 48 hours.
Oh, it's
and
ridiculous.
then it just fucking dies off. And if you guys are indexing out your sites, it's amazing, right? You can actually see how Google's operating when you're dealing with a huge site.
Yeah.
Because when I used to deal with like these small little county sites that I would build,
You see,
it was fucking indexed in no time at all, and it was like. It was like, once again, it was like my high school days. It was over before I even realized it was beginning. So, you know, so with that being said, as you have these big index sites.
Okay, your hand doesn't remember either.
Yeah, let me just, I was the best I ever had. I dimmed the lights down. I was all over myself.
Had those altar candles.
I was the best I ever had. I went for a palm reading. She said, you wore it out. You have no future. So what happened was, you know, basically, you know, it was indexed before I even realized it. But the bigger the sites that we got, all of a sudden, we were actually seeing how it would interact within the SERPs. And we were seeing that, you know, Google would index these pages. They'd actually put them out, if the on page was good, they'd put them out immediately into the SERPs. Then it would roll back because the data centers were getting rolled in and out, and the caching model and the semi-caching model. So we were actually seeing what was going on. It took us a little while, even ourselves, at first, right? And then what would happen is if we started indexing out a site and we didn't see it roll back, then we'd get nervous. And like, you know, even when it rolled back that following day, we would still get that little pit in your stomach for a day or two. We still did, you know. It was like just being excited about watching it happen, but we knew that it was going to happen.
Now if I bring it up to Andrew or Andrew brings it up to me, or just like, yo, what the fuck are you worrying about, man?
Right. And you know what? We used to get the same pits in our stomach when we used to index out a site and we'd see one crawler come and like nothing for like 12 hours. And that's why, like, you know, some people took offense. We were like, guys, the sky's not falling. And they're like, well, no, we're not saying that the sky's falling, but, you know, the shit's not working the way it used to. It does. It's just that Google moved its resources away for a little while, and then we'll bring them back. And as we're looking at these patents, we're seeing the modules. We can actually understand why some of the resources are getting pushed out and then pushed back. So, you know, with that being said, you know, that's the reason why, you know, shit happens, you know, and but it's really interesting as we see this stuff roll out and why. Okay, I got to write down, Justin, hang on, I'm writing down your phone number.
Let's read it out loud for everybody.
Yeah, so for a good time, call Justin. Okay, thank you. All right.
W3 total cache will help, but only on subsequent page loads. When the page is like being hit for the first time, then it's not really doing anything to help you.
And some of those people also, we mentioned Spider Spanker. There's one support ticket that somebody's basically saying double agent's not working. It's interacting with SERP Shaker, and I looked into it again this morning when I finally got a good night's sleep. What happened was when they put Spider Spanker on the site, it changed the HT access or within the database. Mm-hmm. So now when they try because SERP Shaker and double agent or the SEM plugin, they don't have a conflict. But what happened was when they put SERP Shaker when they put Spider Spanker on,
it changed the HT access.
It changed the HT access. So I don't know how to fix that. I'm going to have to get back to that support ticket. But that's what was happening there. You know, if you're going to be using double agent, you can't use Spider Spanker or something that's going to redirect pages that aren't there. It screws up the whole overlay process. You know, so that's why we don't use double agent on any of our PBNs or anything else. So we never ran into that issue. Okay, so let me go. Okay. It's just letting on Google and
So
Bing
they're
and
blocking
Yahoo.
all other crawlers. Yeah, that would help then. I
Yeah,
guess.
but I don't like it. I don't like it. Like I said, it's like a high school tease, man. Just let me in, for the love of God. I
don't care what.
All right, it's great that I can feel these puppies, but I want in. Don't hold me back. So for the PBN questions, guys, faking traffic is worthwhile looking at. Yeah, I would just be really careful about faking the traffic, because we've seen sites actually get hit by faking traffic. Yeah, be really, really careful. But running at 81% CPU and heavy on my SQL. It will be, and it will die down, Steve. It will die down dramatically after the indexing process has taken place. Think about it like, fuck, I hate making all the sexual references. I gotta get laid. It's like the climax, and afterwards, you're sitting around having a cigarette, the heart rate slows down finally. So, and that's what happens with the for those of you that haven't been laid, that's what happens after you get laid, right? Your heartbeat finally slows down after the fact. Churning out sites, 50 to 100K pages. Some of them index in a few days. Others take multiple weeks. Some of them seem not to be indexing more each day, despite Google seeing spiders. Kind of weird. Yeah, it could be because of the keywords that you're targeting, the niches that you're targeting. Could be about your on-page shit. Also, by the way, if anybody recorded our on-page SEO, something crapped out with us. We're
gonna try to fix it, but
if you have it, please let us know. We'd like it. It would save us a shitload of time so we can get those reposted. But in reference to this, what I would do is, everybody always thinks more is better, like 50,000, 100,000 pages. I would also start targeting like a small area and just seeing what's going on there, county, a state, rather than going bigger and better, just for your learning curve. Do smaller just to see what's going on.
Try your own small site first.
And yeah, I mean there are different things going on in the search in the SERPs. We're seeing that some days Google will index a shitload. Some days it won't. Some days it rolls back. Some days it's doing all sorts of weird stuff. But we know that it's like the stock market, right? Eventually it's still climbing, but there are days where it'll go backwards and forwards. And this is also as Google is rolling different things into their algorithm, all sorts of different stuff. So there's a lot of different things that could be all happening at the same time. Same thing happened with me, the Google bot attacks, and I'm pretty much using a decent server dedicated. We thought we were too, until we wound up going with solid state drives and like RAID configurations and all sorts of shit. We were paying a lot of money for our servers, and they were still coming down to their knees until we figured out the right configuration, guys. So just because a hosting company, and this is one thing huge, right? Just because a hosting company is telling you that you're getting certain resources that you're paying for, doesn't mean that you're actually getting it. What you're getting is sometimes they'll like ramp up nodes and they'll ramp down nodes as you need it, which is kind of cool in some respects. But that doesn't mean that you're getting what you're paying for. So just because you think you got a killer server doesn't mean you got a killer server.
Yep.
The company that we work with, like they take a picture of the serial number of the hardware going in and they send it to you so you know exactly what's in the box. And it took us a long time. I mean, you got to remember, guys, we have like thousands and thousands of these sites out there, and we've seen just about everything happen from our servers come to a screaming halt to our hosting providers fucking calling us up on our cell phones, yelling at us.
Yeah,
you guys are fucking killing us. This is half the reason why we had to get into Cloudflare, and then we discovered that Cloudflare does other things outside of just, we got into Cloudflare because of the fact that it was we were trying to slow down the server issues, and then hence obviously we found other ways to use it, which was cute, which was really freaking cute. It was cute. I want to purchase a UK landlord site. When will that be available? We're gonna get shit out this week on it, and next week we're gonna be launching it come hell or high water.
And Nate, if you're on here, get off of here and get back to
going after 100 sites. LOL. Yeah, listen. Dallas, you guys that don't know Dallas Kelso, right? So Dallas and we jumped on. I was sitting outside I had a little my little campfire going out there, on the side of my house. And we did a hangout. I did a hangout with Dallas, and he wanted to jump into AdSense big time. And to be honest with you, I kind of babbled for about fucking 2 hours. And Dallas is just a cool Aussie, man. He's just fucking down to earth. And he understands. He's been around a long time doing SEO. And I kind of gave him my thought process of just how I come up with the AdSense type of sites that we come up with. And man, that fucker has just started ramping shit up. He posts on our site, he posts on Facebook. But yeah, he's just, it's his mindset that got changed. He figured out how to create this Surfshaker sites. And he's been ramping it up to like, $50 a day, almost up to $50 a day, where he's making an AdSense. And he's just rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat and rinse and repeat. And he knows he's got a model that's going to be making him X amount. And he was telling people, which I thought was great, he's like, just fucking do it. And within 4 to 8 weeks, you're going to thank yourself that you did it, because you're going to rank up some of this passive income. And that's exactly what it is. I mean, it's just, it's just...
In 2 months, he's gotten to $50 a day.
Somewhere around there.
He doesn't need to lift a finger to get that.
Right.
He wakes up with a $50 bill in his hand.
That's absolutely it.
Who is Dallas?
Dallas Kelso. He's a member. I mean, most of the people that we quote on here, they're members on SemEasy. Jump into the forums. You'll see their posts. Jump into the chat. Guys, ask questions, man. People are there for that. Ask forum posts. This week, Jake and I have not been around as much as we wanted to.
We're never around as much as we want to.
But we've been crushed this week. I mean, we had a deadline or something this week that just crushed us. I mean, put it this way. I was joking around with one of my buddies who's one of the patrolmen I used to work with, and now he's the police chief, right? And one of his guys came rolling around, and it was like 4:30 in the morning. This was Monday night. And Jake and I have 2 office chairs sitting outside our office, and he's like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" And we're like, "Working, man." He's like, he's like, "Great to have you guys around here. I know you guys aren't causing trouble, and you guys are an extra set of eyes, but like, what the fuck are you doing?"
4:30 in the morning. He's like, if you need anything, I felt like being like, "Yeah, you want to give me a drink?"
I'm the only one around. So, but yeah, so we've just been crushed, and we'll be back in. But like I said, guys, this is one thing that we do need. I need somebody who is a graphic artist. If you're a graphic artist, just let me know right here in chat, and then maybe put a support ticket into Ben. I could really use. It'll probably only take a couple of minutes of your time, and I'll throw you something for it. So if you're a graphic artist, I could really use that.
You need to do a class on what you told Dallas.
Yeah, we need a class on what we told Dallas. Yeah, I do. But you know what? Honestly, if I get a good graphic artist, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm just gonna let the cat out of the bag. What we're looking to do, right? So what I'm looking to do is I want a logo for what I want to call Sem Now, and maybe some of you guys that are in the some of you guys that are now on the website, you might have seen Sem Now and like what the hell is this? What we're basically going to do, for those of you that aren't on Facebook, we're going to throw something out on Facebook, and we're going to throw something in the chat, and we're going to throw something in the forum just to see if you guys are paying attention. And it's going to be like a Sem Now alert. And what basically all that's going to be is it's either going to be myself or Jake, or maybe we're going to grab a guest member, and we're going to jump into like that big blue button, the shit that all you guys used to bitch about. And we're going to have like just a, hey, listen, you know what, the Sem Now alert, and within the next 15 minutes, we're going to be in here, and we're going to just be discussing this. Or it's going to be a Sem Now alert, and we're not discussing anything. We're open for questions. It's a Sem Now alert, and you know what, guys? I got one of the members on our site who's crushing it with this, and we're just going to let him talk to you guys. And we're going to record those sessions and also use them as content on the site. But I just want a really cool logo so when it flashes in front of everybody, everybody understands what the fuck it is. So it's like basically like an impromptu, like the bat signal, right? That's what somebody just wrote, like the bat signal. That's exactly what it is. And just to make sure that, that's all we're looking for, just a cool logo that we can flash and so that everybody will know that. So like if I have a couple of minutes, I like to jump into the chat, which is cool, but a lot of guys aren't around the chat, or like they're off doing their work or whatever else. So we can flash the bat signgle, right? The Sem signal.
We're not going to send out any emails about it.
Yeah, we're not going to hit you guys with emails. It's going to be either through chat, or we're going to be, hitting them, hitting you on the Facebook page. So, and what you can do is when you see it on the Facebook page, respond to it and be like, yep, I'm there. Yeah, this is what I want to talk about. Yeah, we want to get some interaction going.
Yeah, we need the Facebook interaction.
We need the Facebook interaction, right? But is there a SemEasy app? No SemEasy app yet.
We could buy one for $35.
Yeah, we could probably do that if we wanted to.
Oh, yeah, then we could push out notifications for Sem Now.
Yeah, you know what? That wouldn't actually be a bad thing, right? Yeah. Right, just a Sem Now that pushes a notification if you have it on your phone.
And then it could just load up the HTML5 player for the big blue button.
That'd be fucking cool.
That's all the app is.
Hey, Ben, write that down. I love that.
I'm an app developer. Oh, actually, we need app developers.
We need an app developer. Hit me up. for another project that we're working on too. Put a support ticket in.
Yeah, like we're not shitting you guys when we say we're busy. We're actually
okay. Listen. This is what I want. For those of you that are interested in the mastermind, somebody go into the general portion of the No, this is what I want you to do. Go to Facebook, okay? Then start a thread on Facebook about mastermind. I want in, okay?
Yep.
And what we will do, guys, is put in there if you're interested in being in the mastermind, okay? And also, I don't want to say put in a support ticket. We get fucking blasted through support like horrifically.
They're easier for me to keep track of it support.
What's your Facebook address? Oh, Ganty, you're killing me. Come on, you like us on Facebook, don't you? Just do
/SemEasy training.
SemEasy training.
Because there's some chick who's got semi.
Yes, Nick. Also, yes. And I spoke to Nick yesterday. Nick has been with us like from the beginning. I really love Nick, and I feel like I dicked Nick around for the last couple of days. I was hoping to like over deliver for Nick, and I fucking under delivered like big time. But I'm making it good for him. I'm going to make it good for him. We try to make it good for everybody. We know that there's a couple of support ticket guys that we just haven't got to.
And it's not
this is what I'd like. You know, guys, in reference to support, if you've got something, throw it into the forum first. And if we need to, we'll create there is a spot for SemEasy, the double agent plugin or the index assault. Because maybe people have already figured out that issue. It's just hard for us, guys. We really want to answer the support tickets, and there's just certain shit that we just can't get to.
Yeah, we've got, like, a ridiculous amount of visitors coming to SemEasy now, and maybe, like, 0.5% of them have something that they want to share with us. And that, for every hour phone call for somebody who wants to either partner with us or wants us to develop or do SEO for them or whatever, you know, time. There's only so much time in the day. And SemEasy was more of a pet project than a money-making.
And if you guys actually knew, we actually don't make a whole lot of money on SemEasy at all.
No.
It was something that I really wanted to do for a long time because I was teaching SEO. Honestly, how it started was, you know, I was teaching SEO at college, and the people that were signing up for the class were business owners, and most of them didn't know how to turn on the computer, but they knew that they wanted traffic to their websites. And it was like, well, shit, I need to get in contact with people that really kind of already have a basic understanding, and we could bring it to different levels. We could interact. So really, that's what it was all about. So, you know, and we're totally open. We love the direction when you guys. Do I know Jerry West? Yeah. How do I know Jerry West?
I don't know.
You guys are also going to realize that, like, I've been going to the doctor recently because I can't remember shit anymore. So thanks for SemEasy. Yeah, right. Learn more from SemEasy than other places that charge a whole lot more. Thanks for that. The solution for PBN interaction is easy. Nobody has decided to work it correctly, so it's so easy, I believe.
I can't believe
no one figured it out yet.
Yeah. I mean, well, the thing is, it might even be that these guys, the gurus, aren't stupid, but they have these products out there that are already made.
Hey, Mark, and you know, obviously we've known each other for a long time. Yeah, I'm not even going to read that publicly, but you're already right. Yeah, yep, we're already doing that. That's why I'm going to talk to him later on. Link privacy plugin from Jerry West. No, I don't really know that one. I'll have to check it out. Ben, link privacy plugin, Jerry West. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, if you want to request for the mastermind group, put a comment on our Facebook wall or something.
Put a comment on our Facebook wall, and even somebody start a thread in the forum. Put your shit in the fucking forum. Put it both places so we can see it.
Sounds like the gurus are if they make good stuff and they stay up to date.
No, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to say gurus are fucked. Like, I'll be the first person. Somebody said something in one of our past webinars, and then we're going to wrap this shit up because we're going really long.
Are you the only ones I should
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you. That's hit me so hard, right? Somebody said, are you the only people that, you know, since you guys know your shit, are you the only people that we should be listening to? And, like, that hit me so hard. It really did because I bring it up all the time. And the answer is so fucking no. There are so many other guys out there that, like, just know their shit. Charles knows his shit. There's a lot of guys out there. Yeah, guys, you don't even realize there are people within SemEasy that know their shit so hard. We got a guy that created fucking web TV in Seme. We got a guy that created freaking the beginnings of Hotmail. We got guys that created fucking the most unbelievable shit, and they're in the forum ready for you guys. They're willing to talk to everybody. I mean, you guys have such a resource, and everybody that I speak to, I can't even believe the shit that some of these guys have been involved with, like ridiculous crap and like cutting edge shit. Oh, that's kind of fucking cool. Somebody just built that now? Are you shitting me? That's cool.
That's awesome.
I like that.
That was fast. Let's send that to everybody. What do you guys think of this logo? I think maybe we take out like the grading in the background to make it a little flatter.
Yeah, maybe a little flatter would be cool.
Yeah, but I like it.
Yeah, maybe white, you know, just freaking pop it.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I like that.
That's cool.
All right, so listen, guys, this is the takeaways today, all right?